Hello, my name is Dr. Kalarina Woodard, and today we're going to be talking about stress and stress's impact on your physiology. Now, this video is part one of three, and in this video specifically, we're going to be talking about how do you understand what stress is? How do you identify what is stress in your body? And then by doing so, we can figure out how to better balance that. So, stress is inevitable. The most important thing you can understand is how to balance it with things that are more calming. So we're going to identify what are stressors, what is weighing down the sympathetic side of your nervous system. Sympathetic being the fight or flight side. And then what is more of a calmer? What can actually help balance out this seesaw when it comes to parasympathetic, rest, digest, recover part of our physiology. Now, stressors can be physical, they can be emotional, and they can be chemical. And then also one other thing I want you to identify is that some stressors can be heavier than others. For example, a death in the family or a death of a very close friend. That's a very heavy sympathetic driver, maybe more so than being a little bit late for work. So let's talk about some specifics here. Let's look over here on the stressor side first. Some big stressors, overtraining. I see this a lot in athletes. I also did this, not giving your body the chance to recover, being dehydrated or having an electrolyte balance, poor sleep, obsessive thoughts and tendencies. We don't think about this often, but that is a huge driver of anxiety and stress. So even if people are obsessively clean, being clean is very important for your overall health, but being obsessively clean can actually drive you into more of a sympathetic fight or flight state. Same with even eating. I see this often. Having a clean diet is so important for your overall health, but being so obsessive over that diet to where it causes an imbalance in your nervous system, that's a stressor. Nutritional deficiencies as well as surplus. So eating too much is a stressor. Of course, we know not eating enough can be a huge stressor. Exposure to toxins like mold, heavy metal, other chemicals, pesticides, these are all stressors. Stressful relationships, whether that be your marriage, your relationship with your parents, or relationship with your friends. Stressful relationships, stressful job. I just listed out a few as an example here because I know people and I've worked with specifics here. Stressful jobs will drive you into more of a sympathetic, dominant state. Chronic illnesses, Lyme, mono, like Epstein-Barr, autoimmunity, COVID, bacterial infections, parasites. These are all things that drive stress, drive inflammation, and overall put your body into that stress overload. Kids, newborns, if you're in the newborn stage with your baby, even toddlers or teenagers, these are all stressors, and I want people to be able to understand that so that we can understand how do we balance that, because that can be something that's driving your stress response. Of course, death in the family, chronic inflammation and injury. So chronic pain, like back pain, feet pain, neck pain, headaches, these are stressors. So what are things that are more calmers that can actually help balance out your nervous system when it comes to your overall health? Chiropractic care, I put at the top of the list. I am a chiropractor, and I want so many people to understand that chiropractic care is about so much more than pain. Yes, there is pain relief with chiropractic care, but it's also balancing out the nervous system with adjustments. It's increasing blood flow. It's increasing cerebral spinal flow. It's an input into the nervous system that can drive you more towards parasympathetic nervous system based on alignment, because your body will not perceive you as not functioning properly if you're adjusted well and adjusted consistently. Same with acupuncture. Oh, this has so many great benefits. Talk therapy, massage therapy, aromatherapy, sleep, good sleep hygiene, breath work, prayer, meditation, journaling. These are all parasympathetic drivers. There are herbs like ashwagandha, kava, chamomile, others that are parasympathetic drivers. Morning sunlight is huge. This can actually help your body balance out your circadian rhythm better and drive you more towards that parasympathetic, rest, recovered, digest well state. As well as, I hear a lot of people talk about forest bathing, just getting outside in general. That's huge for your parasympathetic nervous system, grounding, exercise. Mindful eating is a big one. I put that on the list because mainly For me, I have a hard time doing this. When we are constantly in go, 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 going to work, taking kids around, making it different places on time, a lot of times I will end up eating my breakfast in the car, which is a bad habit because if you're not mindfully eating, you're not digesting your food well, and you're giving your nervous system the input that you can't sit, breathe, and focus on your meal. So being able to be mindful when it comes to eating, sitting down, breathing in between, taking your time eating is huge for driving your parasympathetic nervous system. Nutrients like magnesium, aminos, B vitamins, of course, other micro and macro nutrient balance is huge for balancing out your nervous system. I'm going to talk about in the next video a little bit more nutrient specifics. There's going to be a lot of meat in the next one. Meat meaning material. So we're going to talk about how stress can deplete your body of electrolytes, of amino acids, of B vitamins, and specifically also magnesium. So this is huge when it comes to being able to balance out your system properly. So I want you to understand stress hormones because this is going to be a foundation of a lot of what we're going to talk about in the next video in this series. What is the stress hormone that we all know? I'm going to talk about two, but specifically, a lot of us know about cortisol. And then cortisol is made in the adrenal glands. And what does the adrenal glands specifically impact? This is something that a lot of people don't fully understand. They've heard of adrenal fatigue. That's just going to make you tired. But we're going to go into the more specifics of how this impacts your metabolism and your whole physiology. Your adrenal glands and your cortisol and your HPA axis overloading, it impacts you a lot more than you realize. So we're going to cover that, but specifically it directly impacts your thyroid and your thyroid hormone production. And then by doing that, putting you into the survival sympathetic dominant state. In most simple terms, again, we're going to go into more detail, but for females, we decrease our progesterone production. And this does this by making ovulation less effective. And if we don't have good progesterone production, and we're actually shunting all of our substrate to cortisol, it's going to impact our estrogen production, our testosterone production. We're going to get into it, but this can cause a host of symptoms: infertility, miscarriages, weight gain, mood, instability, poor digestion, poor immune response, so many things that stress and elevated cortisol can impact. Men, this will lower their testosterone, which can also decrease the ability to put on muscle mass and actually cause wasting of the muscle mass that they have. Same with women. But men are going to notice a big effect in that, as well as energy and increase in abdominal fat. So in the next video, we're going to understand the adrenal connection to the rest of your body, the signals coming from your brain that you are under stress, and what that does. How to stress, even perception of stress. So chronic pain, that's a physical thing. Your brain is perceiving pain. So that's going to affect your adrenal glands. But also sitting and having obsessive thoughts, being put under stress because of deadlines at work. These are all things that your body perceives too and put stress on your adrenal glands to work harder and harder. And then once the adrenal glands are impacted, we're going to talk about how that impacts the rest of your physiology. All right, so let's go on to part two. Now that you have an understanding of what might be, and there's so many things on the list, you may have in your mind what specifically is causing stress on your system, but once you've been able to identify that, let's talk about how that's overall causing some of the symptoms that a lot of people experience.